Hi, Upchurch family. My name is Elizabeth Fletcher, and I'm here to welcome you and invite you to joining us on Sundays at 12 o'clock for Smart Money, Smart Kids at Upchurch. We have taken the Smart Money, Smart Kids curriculum created by Dave Ramsey and Rachel Cruz and created a customized experience for our young people at Upchurch. Every week, we hang out and we have an opening prayer. We introduce ourselves or have a question of the day. We do a daily affirmation that is provided by Upchurch. We share an opening question. We watch videos and have great discussions with the young people who attend. We play a game at the end of every session, and we make sure that we're giving suggestions on how to keep these principles in our lives moving forward. So what are those principles? Each week we discuss a different topic. And as you can see here, there are 6 bullets, but we break those down so that there are 12 sessions. We talk about work and what that means. What is responsibility, not only for your belongings, but also for your money? What are your financial responsibilities? How are you spending? What do you spend your money on? Giving our young people an opportunity to reflect on what they do with their opportunity to achieve financial peace. Are they being wise in their decision making around money? Are they saving and being patient? Are we giving and giving with a generosity of heart and spirit? Are we handling our debt? And what is debt? And are we dealing with it honestly? And then in our last 2 sessions, we'll talk about contentment and gratitude. So each week we focus on a different topic. We keep it fun and exciting and engaging. We have different videos to watch and just a really fun way to not only let our young people know about the best ways to manage their own money, but we also let them know how to do that so that they can achieve a financial peace and continue to attract wealth and health into their lives on a regular basis. We want prosperity for all. So I hope that you and your young people are able to join us. Check your emails for our weekly message, especially if you are registered with Upchurch as a parent. If not, please reach out and let us know, and we'll get you added to that list right away. So thank you so much. I hope to see you soon, and have a great rest of the day, Upchurch.
I let the Lord lead me. I let His love guide me, and His Spirit strengthens my heart. I let His arms protect me, and His voice direct me to the place where I belong. You made the sun shine. You made the moon to make light. You know the plan you have for me, and in your plan I'm free. You made the birds to sing. You are the Lord of everything. You are the light in the darkness. Speak through me, flow through me, help me see who I am. I let the Lord lead me. I let His love guide me, and His Spirit strengthens my heart. I let His arms protect me, and His voice direct me to the place where I belong. You made the sun. You made the sun to shine. You made the moon. You made the moon to make light. You know the plans you have for me, and in your plan I am free. You made the birds
That was absolutely masterful. Absolutely masterful. Speak through me. Flow through me. Lead me to the place where I belong. Do you know that there's a place where you belong? Do you know that there's a right place, that there's a right and true place? And when you're in it, it just feels like you're just in the groove. Everything is just working in the right direction. Lead me to the place where I belong, where I'm being my greatest, highest, most authentic self, where I am giving my absolute best, and I know it and I feel it and I'm satisfied. Thank you, Mikkel. Thank you, Noriko, Chad, Daryl. Thank you, Dominique. You guys we are so blessed to see the flowering of your talent in this season. Welcome to Understanding Principles for Better Living Church. I am Reverend Sherri James, and I'm the senior minister of this incredible, growing global community. We are on the final Sunday of our Worshiping in Color month, and I'm this has been such a full experience. Let me take a few moments to do a couple housekeeping things. If you are here for the first time, let us know. Say hi to us in the live chat, or if you're watching this after this already has aired, please leave us a comment. We absolutely respond to those comments. If this blesses you, share it with someone. The way that people find out who we are is you tell somebody. That's basically it. And so right now, if you would take a moment, hit share. You can send this to Facebook, to Twitter, to Instagram, to just about any platform, and share it and tell somebody about it. And if you're on Facebook or YouTube, subscribe. Hit the like button for our Facebook page, or hit subscribe if you're on YouTube. Make sure that you sign up so that you get notifications when when we go live or when we air another video. Let's take a moment to open today's service in prayer. Would you center yourself? Father, Mother God, we are closing our Worshiping in Color month. We have spent a month celebrating the divine aspects of you: life, love, wisdom, power, and substance. We ask that this teaching now take root in us. Anchor in us the things that we are meant to hold on to, that are now meant to be guiding principles in our experience. Reveal to us the lessons that we're meant to latch on to and to carry forward, that are part of helping us manifest our highest good. We bless Understanding Principles. We bless this ministry to be a beacon of light to all humanity. We bless this church to go forward and carry out your will, to spread the good news that the Spirit and the presence of God lives in all humankind, and that each one of us has the ability to awaken to the Christ of our being. Let us be the full embodiment of that message in the way that we speak, in the way that we carry ourselves, in the songs that we sing, in the conversations that we engage in. Let us truly live up to our divine potential. I bless today's service. May its transformational message do a perfect work in your people. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. I know that you always hear me when I pray. And so I relax now, and I allow this prayer to become flesh. In the name and through the power that is in the consciousness of I am, I affirm that this prayer is so, and so it is. Let me share with you our vision. Our vision is to love every person up to their true identity and to their highest potential for the greater good of all. We are on a mission to spread God's divine love through teaching spiritual principles, worship services, fellowship activities, and community outreach. And our theme this year is Break Every Chain. And as I said last week, give yourself a pat on the back, because you have proven up church, that you can keep moving forward no matter what is going on, that we have been squeezed in ways that we never knew that we could be squeezed. And yet we are still standing, we are still going, we're getting better, we're getting more creative, we're reaching more people. Folks who never knew us are finding us. We are breaking every chain. I am so proud of us. I am so proud of us. I am giving the sermon today. As I mentioned, we are in a series where we have been studying the 5 main attributes of God, or the 5 main ideas of God: life, love, wisdom, power. Today we're going to talk about substance. I want to say thank you to Reverend Charles Taylor, who talked to us about life, Reverend Lola Wright, who talked to us about love, Pastor Greg Stamper, who talked to us about wisdom, Reverend Galen McDowell, who talked to us about power. And like I said, today we're going to dig into that fifth idea, substance. And my sermon is entitled, I Can Have As Far As I Can See. I can have as far as I can see. We're going to still have our Zoom fellowship. I also want to let you know that after the Zoom fellowship will be our annual meeting. So I want to make sure that you, if you're a member of Up Church, that you stick around for that. But it is going to be a powerful day, and I'm really, really excited to get into it. I'm going to share with you some information about the organization that we are supporting during Worshiping in Color Month, the Downtown Women's Center, and so I have a video that's created for that. And you're also going to hear from my and Reverend Sheree's buddy, the Reverend Dr. Darrell R. Pulley, who has a little word for us, and then we'll keep going with the service. Greetings. I'm Reverend Sherri James. I am Senior Minister of Understanding Principles for Better Living Church, or better known as Up Church. Every year we do something special for Giving Tuesday, and this year is no different. We have chosen to stand behind and to support the Downtown Women's Center, and we are so grateful to be in partnership with this organization, and we're inviting you to help us make a difference. I'm going to show you a brief video right now that talks about some of the work that the Downtown Women's Center is responsible for. And then I'm going to come back and share with you how you can be a part of us supporting the Downtown Women's Shelter.
I would describe DWC as a place to call home. I would describe it as a place where you can go to get resources, you can get a shower, you can get clothes, you can get housing, you can get employment, you can get health care, you can get dental, and you can get mental health as well. And when you're on the street, you don't know what the resources are, you don't know what's available, there's no way you can find that out. But if you just come to DWC, come through the doors, there's people here that are going to help you.
I was living a regular life, and then I got into a domestic violence involved relationship. And that is the immediate cause of my exiting, being housed and into homelessness.
Women oftentimes become victims. Women being trafficked, women being forced to sell drugs, women being raped, women being beaten, the police not believing them. It's scarier for a woman than it is for a man.
Unlike men, we don't have many safety nets. Like the shelter I went to was mostly a men's shelter, and they didn't have much for women at all.
At Downtown Women's Center, we believe that permanent housing is a human right. And without it, no one can have health care, no one can take care of their mental health, no one can pursue employment or thrive or be in community.
There's no relaxing when you're outside and you're a woman. There's none. There is absolutely no safety without your own place, without a place to call home, without a door that you can lock.
Coming to the Women's Center made me embrace what it means to be a woman, and it made me feel good about myself. Women feel safe here. They actually feel safe here. This is the only safe place we got. here in Skid Row.
Homelessness is not just the woman that's laying on the street. Homelessness is also a woman like me who has dreams and aspirations. It's important to put a different face on homelessness because a lot of times we just think it's one thing.
There's not one woman who walks in these doors whose story does not tie back to a policy failure, to a lack of access to housing and healthcare and basic needs and a living wage. With more access to housing and more funding to provide all of the supports that are needed to support someone with their healthcare, with their educational and employment goals, we can continue to do more. Homelessness has a solution.
I hope that you were equally as moved by that video as we were. When we learned about this organization and the work that they do, it was wonderful. And I had a chance to talk to the director of development and had a really powerful conversation with her. And what I learned about this center is, one, that they don't call it a shelter. So I always have to remember to get that word out of my mouth because it's part of allowing these women their dignity. They don't talk about homeless women. They talk about women facing homelessness. And they've got an entire holistic approach. And this video just gave you a little bit, but not only do they provide housing and get women into houses as quickly as possible, but they also give them life skills to help them re-enter the workforce. They put them in place to be able to fish and fend for themselves. And they're particularly interested in women that are 65 and older, or 62 and older, because that population, as it ages, they are much more likely to face chronic homelessness simply because of age and their ability to integrate back into the workforce. And so we couldn't think of a more worthy cause to get behind. And so we need your help. We need your help. We want to give big for this Giving Tuesday. And so we have made giving easy. We have a number of different ways that you can do that. You can go to our website and choose Give Online. And then when you make your gift, there's a drop-down menu and you'll be able to choose Giving Tuesday 2020. If you use our text to give, you would text Up Church to 73256 and you'll get a link back and a reply. And in that link, once you click it, it'll take you to a space where you can safely complete your gift. There you can choose from the drop-down menu, Giving Tuesday 2020. So we're going to be running this fundraiser all the way through November up until December 1st, which is Giving Tuesday for 2020. And we really would love your support. If you would like to mail in your support, you can do that. Our street address is 600 West Queen Street, Inglewood, California, 90301, and you can send that payable to Understanding Principles, and we will make sure we will do a lump sum gift to the Downtown Women's Center. Again, I thank you. I thank you for helping us make a difference. Our intention is to give big. Our intention is to have impact, and we thank you for being a partner in that effort. God bless you.
Good morning, Up Church. This is Dr. Dera Pulley, the spiritual leader of today's church, Tampa Bay, and I'm giving out some love to Up Church, Understanding Principles, to my good friends, Reverend Sherri James and Reverend Sheree Thompson. I'm saying happy worship in color. I am celebrating with you in consciousness the 9th annual Worship in Color celebration. Yes, it's an old-fashioned New Thought revival, and I am here for it, supporting you in consciousness, holding the vision of your wholeness and your perfection, seeing you as the spiritual beings that you are, perfect, whole, and complete, nothing missing, nothing broken, and nothing out of place. I see you. Yes, as God's beloved offspring, and I am knowing the truth with each and every one of you, that through this worship and color experience, that you're going to experience the highest and the best, the right and the perfect, more of the good that God has in store for you. I'm excited about the manifestation, the demonstration, the fruition, and you bringing more good into expression. I love you, and have a wonderful worship and color.
Good afternoon, Up Church. Repeat after me. I am made in the image and after the likeness of God, with all the mastery, power, dominion, and authority over it all. Yes, you are. I want to thank each and every one of you so much for tuning in to Up Church here online in cyberspace. There are many of links you could have clicked on, but you chose to be in the right place at the right time with the right parishioners and the right message. So give yourselves a round of applause for getting it right. Up Church is a growing spiritual community, and our doors are always open for those of you who are ready to live a healthier, happier, more prosperous life. My name is Angela Jones, and I serve as an Up Church board member and teacher. Thank you so much for connecting with us. We want to know who's out there with us. So right now, I need you to take a pause for the cause. Type your name and your favorite I am statement in the live chat and let us know you are with us. I think I am prosperity. Yes, I'm feeling mighty prosperous in my tangerine and my turquoise. Yes, I am. We invite you to grow spiritually with us. If you would like to make Up Church your spiritual home, please email upchurch@upchurch.org, and we will respond to you with your next steps. I see the Christ in each and every one of you. We invite you to fill in the virtual connect card. Please see the show notes for the Google form link. And I'll see you in just a few minutes for the November Affirmation of Power.
Good afternoon, Up Church. Today I'll be reading the daily inspiration for November 29th, 2020. The title is, What Picture Are You Painting? The week ahead is a blank canvas. What picture are you preparing to paint? Make sure you hold your own paintbrush as you mix and apply your color selection with masterful strokes to guarantee your satisfaction with the completed work of art. Blend and balance your colors well. Let them represent the life, love, wisdom, power, and substance of God that are available to you every day. Let them guide the spiritual, emotional, physical, social, relational, vocational, and financial aspects of your life. Rely on the master artist, God the Omniscient, for inspiration, instruction, guidance, and encouragement. Do not attempt to do it on your own. In everything you do, put God first, and God will direct you and crown your effort with success. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 6. Steal away from your family, friends, and electronic device, and reconnect with your wise inner artist. When you heed its whisperings, the painting you produce will guarantee a successful week ahead. John chapter 15, verse 5. Those who abide in me and I in them bear much fruit, because apart from me, you can do nothing. Thank you, Up Church.
And now for our November Affirmation of Power. If there is anyone from my past or present that I need to forgive, I now do so. I bless them, I love them, I forgive them, and I release them into your care. And if there is anyone from my past or present who needs to forgive me, including myself, they now do so. And we are all free to love and experience greater good in our lives And so it is.
Good afternoon, Up Church family. This is Dr. Sherri Randolph, and I would like to entitle this testimony, Alchemy, that transformation matter that changes things that go through the fire and come out as pure gold. That's me. And I'm also speaking to you as the host of a podcast that is brand new called The Amazing Adventures of Sherri Randolph. And I want to tell you how I got there. First of all, I was young, living in Illinois, and I knew there was more. I didn't know how I knew, but I knew there was more. And I had this urging to move to California. And when I got here, I ended up at Understanding Principles for Better Living Church because a homeless person told me that that is the church that I should go to. So I ended up at Reverend Della's table, learning these lessons and about the transformation power and the one presence that's in the universe. And this month, we're celebrating our worshiping in color service that was brought to us through Katrina, the storm, by the way of Margaret Peterson. And that taught me the lesson that Reverend Della had taught the week before. But now we come to this year, we're in 2020 and we're in the middle of syndemics. Mainly, the main one you know about is the pandemic of COVID-19. But you know there are other things that are going all around us, but we're still here. And I'm grateful for 2020 and its focusing energy that it brought to my life. Through experiences at Understanding Principles and Alchemy, I have been transformed all of the way around. I was called by Reverend Sherry, who did not know that I was working on a podcast because of the process that we went through when we produced the health and wellness fairs. That will be a short film that people will be able to get all of the lessons from the health and wellness fairs. And she asked me if I would do the interview. At the time, I was seeking for who my first interview would be for the podcast. I end up with the Fab Five of Metaphysics. I am overjoyed. Reverend Charles Taylor, Reverend Lola Wright, Pastor Greg Stamper, Reverend Galen McDowell, Reverend Sherri James. And in this excitement, Reverend Galen told me his favorite quote was, "There's no such thing as undemonstrated understanding." Reverend Della used to tell us, "In all thy getting, get understanding." You can't do anything that you don't understand. And because I've been practicing these principles, and I am consciously aware of my good is around me at all times, and that there's no spot where God is not. There was a process to me even getting to the understanding to do a podcast, but it came through questioning from Tommy Milner and Barbara Kimball being there, and she said, "You need a podcast." And I thought, "I do?" And I said, "I do." And now I have one. Reverend Sherry didn't know that was going on when she said, "You do the interview." And I said, "Thank you, God. Thank you, God. This experience has changed my life again for the better. So I can go through the fire and come out as platinum, because that is how God works in me. I am grateful. I am thankful. I am thankful for 2020. I am thankful for these connections that we're making in this time. So when we come back together, it's going to be on and cracking.
Cannot comprehend just how you do it, God. Your existence and persistence, you don't have to prove it, God. My body is the vehicle, it's you that move it, God. You coming through my voice every time I use it, God. Who is it that puts together all my music, God? Who is it whose presence is so therapeutic, God? Walk with me, pray with me, talk with me, stay with me, God. Reach for me, teach for me, preach for me, speak for me, God. Never leave, I believe in perceiving you, my God. I'm deceiving who I receive from you, my God. Almighty, I'm the present up to the second, it's God. Unexplainable healing miracles, I reckon it's God. Man's law is cool, but the law I'm respecting is God. G-O-D, guiding our direction, God. The eternal witness with mercy and forgiveness, it's God. I perceive in thee, the L-O-B in me, that's God.
Nothing we can do but divine mind to it. Magnetic vibrations we bind to it. See the darkness and we shine through it. Whoa.
You killed the king.
Yeah. Nothing we can do but divine mind to it. Magnetic vibrations we bind to it. See the darkness and we shine through it.
You living in the ghetto, protected by God. You don't even know that you were selected by God. You say me, how can I be selected by God? It's easy, you were never ever rejected by God. You never left the intelligence or the presence of God. You even lived with God when that living was hard. So say to yourself now, what I'm spitting is God, what is written is God, what I'm mixing with a drum start ripping is God. No facade or beast, God, no west or east, God. God is spirit, so to my people it's peace, God. You can never cease, God, let's feast, God. To know you is an honor, not to say the least, God. You set the table and prepare the meal, God. In you, I'm content, I don't have to steal, God. Real God, the real God, the love that I can feel, God. Technology is cool, but you know you still the real God.
Nothing we can do but divine mind to it. Magnetic vibrations we bind to it. See the darkness and we shine through it. Whoa. Nothing we can do but divine mind to it. Magnetic vibrations we bind to it. See the darkness and we shine through it. Whoa.
Hey, we killed that.
Yeah, y'all did that. Y'all did that. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Nothing we can't do. Put divine mind to it. Magnetic vibrations, we vibe to it. See the darkness and we shine through it. Oh, that was powerful, powerful, powerful. All right, worship team. All right, all right, all right. God, yes. The mind of the universe. Whew. All right, all right. We are here at the culmination of a powerful series, a really, really powerful series. And I'm so glad that you took this journey with us. We said that God, the mind of the universe, is composed of archetype ideas: life, love, wisdom, power, substance. Now, these are not the only ideas in God, but in the UFBL, we consider these 5, life, love, wisdom, power, substance, to be the main ones. And what does that mean? What does it mean to call something an archetype idea? So the word archetype means a very typical example of a certain person or thing. You typically hear it used to refer to things in literature. For example, the hero story is a very familiar archetype. In almost every hero story, whether it's Batman, Superman, He-Man, you see the hero start out in ordinary circumstances, then something calls the hero to adventure, and then in the end, the hero has to confront their darkest fear in a conflict that deeply transforms the hero. The hero archetype doesn't simply apply to comic books or cartoons or superhero stories. We also find them in our Bible. Jesus, Paul, Moses. These are all hero archetypes as far as the story is concerned. Think about it. Jesus is born in a manger among the animals. Moses is born into an oppressed community and is hidden by his mom for as long as she can hide him away. Paul himself is born in obscurity. Each of them receives their call to adventure in different ways. Jesus is intrigued by his cousin John the Baptist, who is teaching by the sea, and so he follows him. Moses famously encounters the burning bush while tending sheep in the Midian desert. And Paul, of course, has the great awakening on that road to Damascus. And they each respond to the call that takes them on an adventure. And in the end, they end up having to confront their darkest fear in a conflict that deeply transforms them. Jesus, of course, has to face execution by the Roman government. Paul follows a similar fate. Moses has to stand against the powerful Egyptian army with only a rod in his hand. The hero story is an archetype. We see it everywhere. Now, I pulled those 3 stories from our Bible, but honestly, you could pick any story. Jacob, Isaac, they're all following this hero archetype. And so this archetype, it's a constantly running symbol or motif. Everywhere you look, you find it. So then to say that these 5 ideas, life, love, wisdom, power, substance, to say that they are archetype ideas that the mind of God is composed of, is to say that everywhere you find God, you're going to find these 5 ideas expressing. Everywhere you find God. And so at at Up Church and in the UFBL, we teach that God's Spirit indwells every phase of creation. And so we use the term immanent to say that God is in everything and everyone. God's Spirit develops, sustains, and maintains every atom of creation, for God is the creative power of the universe. No matter what it looks like, if God is present, then the ideas of God are present and expressing. It means that wherever I go, wherever I look, I'm going to find those qualities: life, love, wisdom, power, substance, expressing. Because God is everywhere evenly present, and all the qualities of God are everywhere evenly present. And this matters because sometimes we think that places like universities or certain universities hold more wisdom. But Pastor Greg taught you that you've got your own CIA, your own Central Intelligence Agency, and it's built into your DNA, and it's in there collecting, coordinating, and correlating information on your behalf. You will never find a greater source of wisdom outside of you than what you have in you. We think people with the appearance of health have greater health than we do. And so from the seat of so-called old age, we will look at a little child and we'll say, "Ooh, I wish I had that energy again." But Reverend Charles told you that life must be directed if it is to be of use to you. Life will energize whatever you invested in. And if you invested in life-draining activities, then you get the result of that investment. We look at people with loving relationships, especially like the romantic ones, and we say, boy, they are so lucky. As if your ticket in the love lottery didn't come up. But Reverend Lola showed us that there is a type of love that in the Aramaic is called hubach. And that type of love sets you on fire and attracts to you. You become an irresistible magnet for everything that would fulfill happiness and joy for you. We look at high achievers, people who are able to just get a whole lot of stuff done, and we marvel at their accomplishments. But power is the idea and divine mind of authority and dominion. It's your power. It's the power in you to get things done. And Reverend Galen reminded us, I love when he talked about He-Man and how He-Man activated the power. He would pick up that sword and say, by the power of Grayskull, I have the power. And as soon as I heard him say that, I was like, oh my God, I need a mantra. I need to stand up, and every time I get ready to preach, hand over my heart and say, by the power of the Christ in me, I have the power. Every time I get ready to do a board meeting, by the power of Christ in me, I have the power. Every time I get ready to do whatever it is I'm getting ready to do, by the Christ in me, I have the power. No place, no one, no thing has more life, love, wisdom, or power than you have operating inside of you right now. Living and walking in God means waking up to the reality that everything I need lives inside of me. Whatever I decide to experience, I must first turn it on inside of me. It cannot come any other way. If I desire more life in my body, I'm the one that's got to wake up that quality. If I desire greater wisdom, I got to tune into the CIA. If I desire greater power, I have to wake up my awareness to the power that's already inside of me. And I've got to deal with the things that are already awake or expressing in my life, because if they are there, it is because of a switch in myself that I flipped on. And if it's not working, I'm the only hand that can turn it off. I'm the only one that can release it. I'm the only one that can let it go. And so I never pray to get. I pray to turn on inside of me the mental equivalent for the thing that I am asking for. Make me a match for the good that I seek. Make me a vibrational match. Make everything in me, my speaking, my thinking, my feeling, my acting, and my reacting line up with the good that I'm asking for. And so that brings us to the fifth archetype idea, substance. Substance is the idea in divine mind of perfect form. It is unformed mind essence. Jesus referred to this aspect of God as the kingdom of God. Some teachers have called it pure potential. The Apostle Paul referred to it as the secret of the ages hidden in you, Christ, your hope of glory. Moses connected with this pure potential in that Midian desert and learned, when he encountered the burning bush, and learned that its name is I am. Our founder, Reverend Della, would call it the divine cookie dough. This inexhaustible divine cookie dough that you could stamp out of it whatever you wanted, and you could never exhaust it. It's unshaped. It's everywhere, evenly present. Substance is the underlying reality of all things. It underlies all manifestation and is the spiritual essence, the living energy out of which all things are made. Everything reduces back to substance. So this living presence, though, cannot be perceived with your senses. So you can't taste it, you can't touch it, you can't smell it, you can't see it with your eyes, you can't hear it. You cannot work with it the way that a powder works with clay. It's not a physical substance. This substance has no physical dimension, so we shouldn't confuse it with the way that we speak of substance, water as a substance or some powder as a substance. When I use the term substance to refer to an archetype idea of God, I'm not referring to matter. You see, matter can be exhausted. Substance cannot. Matter can be destroyed. Substance cannot. Matter can be depleted. Substance cannot. And I've sometimes heard some metaphysical teachers refer to substance as energy. And I would even say that that's incorrect if by energy you mean something that can be measured. Substance cannot be measured. You can't put it in a test tube the way you would some type of liquid and then work with it that way. It's not a physical substance. The only way to work with it is through your mind. That's the only way to work with it. Substance moves at your command, and specifically, it moves according to your thinking. We often think of ourselves as waiting on God, but the scripture in Isaiah is clear. This is Isaiah 45:11. Thus says the Lord. And when you see that small caps, you can just replace that with I am. Thus says the I am, the Holy One of Israel and his Maker. Ask me of things to come concerning my sons, and concerning the work of my hands, you command me. God is always waiting on us. The waiting that we seem to be doing is really simply the time that it takes for us to become a vibrational match for the thing that we have asked for. And it is our belief that makes us a vibrational match for the gifts of God. The moment we believe, we set in motion the machinery of the universe working on our behalf to bring forms that match the belief. I never pray to get. I always pray to believe. Believe that you can have world-class health. Believe that you can have world-class wealth. Believe that you can have world-class relationships. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. There is nothing that a good, loving God that never changes would withhold from you. God is always waiting on us. Reverend Della used to say, God is a gentleman. He'll never force himself on you. And by that, she meant that God is patient with us. God will wait on you to finally believe that you can have it. We are never punished for our errors. We graduate from the classroom of our present experiences when we outgrow our need for them and we stop believing in them. The moment we outgrow the drama in our lives, we no longer take our classes in those rooms. The moment we outgrow any circumstance, we begin to take our life lessons in a new and better classroom. Concerning the works of my hands, you command me. What do you want created? What would you like to experience? Where would you like to go? What kind of contribution would you like to make? You have the substance of God at your disposal. It is moved by your thinking, and it will become whatever you choose to think about. Are you willing to think big? Are you willing to dream big? Are you willing to put aside the excuse of race or gender or whatever and begin to think the biggest thoughts you can think? Even if they shackle your body, if they don't get your mind and you free yourself in your mind, then through the machinations of the universe, the shackles must fall off. The promises of God are eternal. Whatever God promised once is promised forever. And so in Genesis chapter 13, verses 14 and 15, we get one of those promises. The Lord, I am said to Abram after Lot had separated from him, raise your eyes now, look up. And look from the place where you are, northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all the land that you see, I will give to you and your offspring forever. How big are you willing to dream? How big? The substance is going to move according to the thoughts in your mind. And this is the thing about substance. I can't shape substance for you. I can't think and make substance do anything in your life. Neither can you shape substance for me. My thinking shapes the substance that becomes the forms in my life, and your thinking shapes the substance that becomes the forms in your life. And this is why no one external to you has power over you. They never had it. This is why racism, sexism, homophobia are toothless lions. The moment you take back the power of your thinking from them, they cease to have impact in your life. Freedom is not a matter of politics or caste or class or race or gender. Freedom is a matter of consciousness. You see, there are some commonly held beliefs that you may be living from and that are impeding your use of substance. There was this phrase I used to hear all the time when I was growing up, and I would hear people saying, you know, they only let a few through. You know, they only let a few through. Wrapped up in that phrase is the belief that someone external to you has power over your demonstrations. And then I come into this new thought teaching and I learn, wait a minute. I have the power to control and direct my life. As far as God is concerned, only my thinking plays a role in the expressions of my life. But what do I do with this belief that someone or some group can keep me locked in a certain class or caste? What do I do with this understanding that some group is oppressing me or people that look like me? I tell you, this is one of the hardest beliefs to shake that I've had to forgive and release. It's so insidious that I'll find myself thinking and behaving out of it without even realizing it. I believe that this is why the psalmist, what he experienced when he wrote, "Create in me a clean heart, O God." Because you see, from my heart come the issues of life. Each of us has some beliefs that we were handed when we got to the planet. And if we are to fulfill the promise of the 13th chapter of Genesis, verses 14 through 15, we have to work with I am to create a clean heart. We got to look up and look north and south and east and west and decide that I can have it. You see, it's one thing to have someone external to you clip your wings, but it is a whole other thing to take the clippers in your own hand and do the clipping for them. There's a Carter G. Woodson quote that I love. It says that if you can control a man's thinking, you don't have to worry about his action. When you determine what a man shall think, you do not have to concern yourself about what he will do. If you make a man feel that he is inferior, you do not have to compel him to accept an inferior state, for he will seek it himself. If you make a man think that he is justly an outcast, you do not have to order him to the back door. He will go without being told. And if there is no back door, his very nature will demand one. My prayer for myself and for you is that you take back your thinking. Take back your thinking. Make that your life mission, to take back your thinking. I remember being a college student in Philadelphia, and I befriended this student from Nigeria who was in the business school, and we had some of the best conversations. One evening we were talking about race and class, and he shared something with me that I never forgot. Now, he was one of the top students at Wharton, and he was friends with a number of the black students on campus, and they all studied together. Now, I don't remember how this conversation came up, and I'm giving you a paraphrase, the gist of it. But essentially he said to me, "Sherry, I'll tell you something that puzzles me. I study with the other black students. We have a study group that meets regularly. I don't get how they can know the answer when we're studying together, but when they're called on in class, they give the wrong answer. I know they know the material because we study together. I heard them give the right answer last night in the study session. And the thing you should know about the black students that I went to college with, these were the children of senators and congressmen, doctors and lawyers, and high-level professionals. They had been educated at the best schools. Most of them graduated at the top of their class from the top high schools in our country. And somehow this insidious nature of racialized thinking had filtered through. And so being in a room where they clearly could run circles around their classmates, they find themselves stumbling. Create in me a clean heart. Create in me a clean heart. When you're working with substance, it is not about capacity, it is about belief. Your capacity is limitless. It always has been and it always will be. It is your belief, though, that acts like a governor on what's possible for you. Substance will create whatever form matches the dominant belief system in your heart. You can study for the test, but if the belief in your heart is that I'm not good enough, you will walk into a test that you have prepared for and bomb. We want desperately to believe that the forms in our lives, specifically the ones we don't like, have nothing to do with us, that some of these things had to be put here by somebody else. And Jesus told us, it is done unto you according to your belief. Here are these highly educated, privileged students who showed up on a campus where they were in the minority, and though they clearly had the right to be there by all accounts, they were underperforming. Substance cannot bring you a form that does not match your belief. The secret to working with substance and creating the life you desire is cleaning up your belief. Create in me a clean heart. That's the prayer you need to pray every day, all day. Create in me a clean heart. Concerning your health, what do you believe? Concerning your wealth, what do you believe? Concerning your relationships, what do you believe? Substance is your supply. Out of it, you form whatever you will according to your belief. Very often when we find ourselves frustrated by some persistent problem, it is simply a matter of a belief that we won't release. Jesus is a whole study in how to work with substance. It's a whole study. You know, just for clarity, there are many people who see Jesus as the great exception. Our approach to Jesus is that he is the great example. And so we look to Jesus to understand methodology. How do I deal with a limited circumstance? How do I operate when I've got beliefs that have been handed to me? Because what I want you to know is that Jesus was born into a group that was oppressed under the Roman government. And his family was a part of the lowest caste. How do you deal with that? How do you break through that? How do you work where you're living? I read one scholar, this was years ago, I took this, he talked about the lifestyle that they had, people who were migrant, similar to migrant workers, but essentially they didn't eat every day. And so Jesus is growing up a part of this caste in that society. And so you don't know where your next meal is going to come from. And he has the audacity to come forward and say, it is done unto you according to your belief. This is what makes him such a radical teacher. The story I want to share with you is found in the 14th chapter of Matthew. This is the 13th to the 21st verse. Now, when Jesus heard this, he withdrew there in a boat to a deserted place by himself. But when the crowds heard it, they followed him on foot from the towns. When he went ashore, he saw a great crowd, and he had compassion for them and cured their sick. When it was evening, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a deserted place, and the hour is late. Send the crowds away so they may go into the village and buy food for themselves." Jesus said to them, they need not go away. You give them something to eat. They replied, "We have nothing here but 5 loaves and 2 fish. And he said, "Bring them to me." Then he ordered the crowd to sit down on the grass. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, he looked up to heaven and blessed and broke the loaves and gave them to the disciples. And the disciples gave them to the crowds, and all ate and were filled. And they took up what was left over of the broken pieces, 12 baskets full. And those who ate were about 5,000 men, besides women and children. And so step 1 in the process of taking back your mind is you got to narrow your focus. You got to ignore your worldly beliefs and put your attention on what you do have. When the disciples advised him that we don't have enough food, Jesus' only response, he didn't say, "Yes, we do." He said, "Bring them here to me." When you find yourself shrinking because of some seeming external condition, then it is time to take your eyes off of the condition and put it on what do I have. Now, the worldly belief might be, I'm too old, I'm too black, I'm too this, I'm too whatever. Jesus shows us that we need to take our attention off of what we don't have and put it on what we do have. Thinking about what you don't have is going to cause substance to form itself into more experiences of what you don't have. And so in this first step, Jesus is redirecting our attention to what do you have. Step 2, calm down. This is verse 19. Jesus orders the crowd to sit down. Metaphysically, the crowd represents your thoughts. As long as they are standing and running around your mind, they are distracting you from possibility. Sitting down is a centering activity. When you're facing a situation that looks impossible, it is time to get still. Substance has formed a seemingly impossible situation, and you need to stop the thinking factory so that you can point the thinking machinery in a different direction. When things seem impossible and insurmountable, we become scattered and all over the place. So we need some calming techniques. This is when we tap into our breath work. Breathe deeply. Because typically when we're scattered, our breathing is shallow. But the simple act of breathing deeply will help us to slow down and drop into the present moment. It will help us get out of the story that we're telling in our heads, right? The story that the disciples were telling is that we've only got 5 loaves and 2 fish, so we don't have enough. Jesus says, sit down. Something just occurred to me. I can't repeat that on camera, but just sit your down. Sometimes you got to say it. Step 3, go to God. It says that taking the 2 fish and 5 loaves, he looked up to heaven. In other words, tap into your CIA, your Central Intelligence Agency. Right now, you need some fresh ideas. You obviously have used substance to create a situation that looks impossible. Tap into the CIA. Get a new thought. Right now, it looks like what you have is not enough. And everything that you understand and believe has produced this situation where you only have 2 fish and 5 loaves. So you need a God idea. You need a new way to look at what you are holding in your hands. You need a new way to think about it. My current level of thinking may have shaped substance into 2 fish and 5 loaves, but I've got a CIA in me, my indwelling Christ, and I can turn within and get a new idea about how to handle what I have to work with. Step 4, praise and give thanks. Jesus blessed the 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. The substance of God is magnified and increased by thanksgiving and praise. The secret to prosperity is learning how to work with substance. You see, the difference between spiritual prosperity and material prosperity is that material prosperity is based around what you own, what you got, what you can put your hands on, things that are in your possession. But spiritual prosperity is based on an understanding of the inexhaustible, omnipresent substance of spirit. And that understanding says, listen, it might be 2 fish and 5 loaves, but it is like the iceberg on the ocean where what you see, this is the tip, but underneath is an infinite potential. Spiritual prosperity recognizes that my faith and feeling of prosperity does not lie in what I hold in my hands, but rather what I hold in my mind. If I can get my thinking right, none of this stuff that I'm looking out here makes a difference. And so I'm never confused about the appearance. Ever. I know with clarity that if all I have is 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, then that is enough to take me to the next level of my experience. And I need a God idea about what to do about it. And so I bless it because substance will magnify whatever I think about. I confer prosperity upon it by blessing it. And by blessing it, what I'm saying is that you are enough. If it's 2 nickels, you are enough to get me to the next level of my experience. I can do something with you. And then step 5, use what you got. Put it into circulation. It says he broke the loaves and gave them to his disciples. In other words, put what you have into circulation. Everything in this physical universe has to obey the law of circulation. When things stop circulating, they begin to die. There's a sea in Israel that I got a chance to be in when I was there. It's called the Dead Sea. And it is that way because nothing can live in it. It is a landlocked salt lake between Israel and Jordan in southwestern Asia. There is no circulation. Every dis-ease is some form of stagnation. In fact, there is only one dis-ease, stagnation, and there is only one cure, circulation. Whatever you desire to increase, put it into circulation. This applies to your body, your money, your relationship, everything else. It's got to have some motion. And so when Jesus circulated the 2 fish and the 5 loaves of bread, they multiplied until there was more than enough for everybody present, which by the report we have was 5,000 men plus women and children. And then there were 12 basketfuls left over. I can have as far as I can see. So let me give you those steps again. Narrow your focus. Calm down. Go to God. Give praise and thanks and use what you've got. And then wash, rinse, repeat. Because you don't get a clean heart and get moving. You clean your heart in the process of moving. And so you'll repeat these steps over and over and over again. And so you apply this method to something small in your life and then move to something a little bigger and then something a little bigger than that. Pretty soon that you will find yourself speaking to the mountains in your life, casting them into the sea so that they are no longer interfering with your use of substance. God designed you to have whatever it is that appears in your heart. You couldn't want it if God didn't desire it through you first. Create in me a clean heart so that when I think, God, I move your substance into better and greater forms. God bless you. bless you.
Yeah, yeah, and the wind is talking. Yeah, yeah, for the very first time. Will the melodies that pulls you towards it, painting pictures of paradise, saying, rise up to the light in the sky, yeah. Watch the light lift your heart up, burn your flames through the night. Whoa, spirit, watch the heavens open, open, yeah. Spirit, can you hear it calling, calling, yeah. Trembling, that's when the magic happens, and the stars gather by your side, saying, rise up to the light in the sky, yeah. Watch the light lift your heart up, burn your flame through the night. Oh, spirit, watch the heavens open, open, yeah. Spirit, can you hear it calling, calling, yeah. Your destiny is coming close. Stand up and fight. So go into that promised land and be one with the great I am. I am a boy because of man. Whoa, spirit, watch the heavens open, open, yeah. Spirit, can you hear it calling, calling, yeah. Spirit, watch the heavens open, open, yeah. Spirit, can you hear it calling, calling, yeah. Your destiny is coming close. Stand up and fight. So go into that promised land and be one with the great I am.
All right, family, now is the time to set the law of giving and receiving into action for yourself.
I give in love. I give in love, love, love. All that I have and all I receive will be multiplied. I'm in the flow. I'm in the flow, flow,
support Understanding Principles. You can text the word UPCHURCH to 73256 to complete your gift. You can use Cash App. Our Cash App ID is $UpChurchLA. You can also go to our website, upchurch.org. Choose the button Give Online. And finally, the mail still works. You can mail your gift to Understanding Principles, 600 West Queen Street, Inglewood, California, 90301. Bless our offerings. Read along with me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love and I trust God. All right, let's add a declaration with that. I am in the flow. I give generously and I receive lavishly. My Father, Mother, God supplies all my needs. I am divinely supplied. All right, family. Thank you so much for your support. Let's have some announcements and then I'll be back to close this out.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Hi, UpChurch family. My name is Elizabeth Fletcher, and I'm here to welcome you and invite you to joining us on Sundays at 12 o'clock for Smart Money, Smart Kids at UpChurch. We have taken the Smart Money, Smart Kids curriculum created by Dave Ramsey and Rachel Cruz and created a customized experience for our young people at UpChurch. Every week, we hang out and we have an opening prayer. We introduce ourselves or have a question of the day. We do a daily affirmation that is provided by UpChurch. We share an opening question. We watch videos and have great discussions with the young people who attend. We play a game at the end of every session, and we make sure that we're giving suggestions on how to keep these principles in our lives moving forward. So what are those principles? Each week we discuss a different topic, and as you can see here, there are 6 bullets, but we break those down so that there are 12 sessions. We talk about work and what that means. What is responsibility, not only for your belongings, but also for your money? What are your financial responsibilities? How are you spending? What do you spend your money on? Giving our young people an opportunity to reflect on what they do with their opportunity to achieve financial peace. Are they being wise in their decision making around money? Are they saving and being patient? Are we giving and giving with a generosity of heart and spirit? Are we handling our debt? And what is debt? And are we dealing with it honestly? And then in our last 2 sessions, we'll talk about contentment and gratitude. So each week we focus on a different topic. We keep it fun and exciting and engaging. We have different videos to watch and just a really fun way to not only let our young people know about the best ways to manage their own money, but we also let them know how to do that so that they can achieve a financial peace and continue to attract wealth and health into their lives on a regular basis. We want prosperity for all. So I hope that you and your young people are able to join us. Check your emails for our weekly message. especially if you are registered with Upchurch as a parent. If not, please reach out and let us know, and we'll get you added to that list right away. So thank you so much. I hope to see you soon, and have a great rest of the day, Upchurch.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending this month with us talking about these 5 ideas of God. Thank you for just investing this time. What a gift to have you with us. I want to say thank you to our music team. Thank you, Noriko, Chad, Daryl, Dominique, Mikkel. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you to just everyone. Thank you, Aaron, for doing our daily inspiration. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you, Dr. Sherri Randolph, for our testimony. Am I missing anybody? I don't want to miss anybody. And then I want to thank you. We have a lot of people that are boots on the ground. I want to say thank you to our prayer chaplains who are every month making calls to the membership and supporting them in prayer. I want to say thank you to our teachers who are actively teaching the classes that happen on Sundays and Mondays. I need to say thank you to the office team. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Aaron. I've got a rock star marketing team, Deidre, Dr. Sherri Randolph, Marjorie Ford. Thank you so much. Gotta shout out the guest services team because they have been backing us up with phone calls and just helping us get everything going and keeping everybody informed. Thank you, Carol Kimball. Oh my God, let me not forget that. Carol Kimball is one of, for our board, we have an awesome board. Thank you to our board. But Carol Kimball was one of our board members, and last Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, as of this airing, she organized our harvest distribution. We had to figure out how to do that. It's one of the things that we do that's a tradition at Upchurch where we pass out bags of food that include staples that we ask that you use in your Thanksgiving preparation. And so I just want to say thank you, Carol, for doing that. Her family puts that together. And thank you to everybody who came out to help distribute the bags. y'all, thank you. So just, we have an incredible team here at Understanding Principles, and so many people are stepping up in so many amazing ways. And so we just want to highlight them and just say thank you and let you know that we appreciate you. Okay, I want to take this opportunity to just bless you. You've heard some really good information today and this month, and I just bless you now to go be God in action, to take these lessons and stand them on their feet, to make this message work in your life. One of the things that makes New Thought different from anything else is that this is a practical faith. It is about what can you demonstrate, what can you do, not what can you believe, what can you do. And so I charge you to go forward and make these lessons living testimonies in your experience. I double dog dare you to blow your own mind. I double dog dare you to believe that you can have as far as you can see. All right, let's take our prayer of protection. Would you read along with me? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us wherever we are. The power and the presence of God is, and so it is. God bless you, family. I will see you as we get into our Christmas series next week, or I'll see you in the Zoom fellowship later, and then in the annual meeting after that, and then I'll see you next week. Don't miss that part. All right, see you guys soon. Take care.